All right, Counterpunch Boxing. I got the latest, the greatest details on Gennady Golovkin, Canelo rematch. I told you guys I would check this out, and I finally did. I'm glad I did. You know, what a piece of work here. Look, you guys, before I get started, I'm not one of those channels that likes to read an article and kind of recreate it and make you believe that it's my own, right? So I want to give credit where credit is due, full credit to where credit is due. Steve Kim at Digital Ring, or Ring TV. So, you know, he interviewed Tom Loeffler and Gennady Golovkin. So like I said, full credit to him. The Ring Digital, I will leave a link in the description box below. Like I said, he did a great interview, one of my favorite of all time, actually. So, you know, head over there, at least give them a like, give them a share, you know, sub to the channel, that kind of thing. And I think, you know, and I appreciate the interview, and by doing this, I believe will help his channel out as well. So, you know, I want to give all credit to them. So I don't like doing this without disclosing where I get my info from. But, you know, I've been waiting for this information, and I'm going to pass it on to you. So, okay, the rematch. Now, K2 has been in contact. They thought, like, I'm going to tell you what you know and then what you don't know, right? That's how we always do it. Okay, they've been in contact with Eric Gomez. They thought it would be a lot easier to make the fight, but basically it boils down to Canelo, right? You know, they're waiting on Canelo, and it's that simple. So right now, that's what we're doing. You know, we're not waiting on Golovkin. We're not waiting on Oscar. We're not waiting on Eric. We're not waiting on Tom Loeffler, HBO, whoever. We are waiting on Canelo. Now, wouldn't you think that Canelo would be eager? I mean, just chomping at the bit to get back in the ring. Wouldn't you think that? But, you know, according to Canelo, he's taking time off, and, you know, it's ironic that he needs time off after the Golovkin fight. You know, if he won, it was an easy fight, whatever. It was nothing like he made it out to be, you know, getting there and get the rematch. Now, Gennady Golovkin, which I'm about to show you here. I'll show you a little glimpse right here. The interview with Golovkin we'll get into a minute, but I want to give you the details real quick. Gennady Golovkin, you know, he feels that he won, and I can tell he's extremely bothered by it. You know, he's not upset. He seems really pissed off. You know, he seems irritated with the Vegas boxing politics, especially Adelaide Byrd, which he said in the interview, he's like, I can't even talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, you know, you got to put yourself in his shoes. I mean, he's you know, prepared his whole life for that moment, and for someone to dish out that kind of a scorecard, I mean, that is literally like shitting all over your legacy. You know what I mean? That's like pissing on your grave. It's just forbidden in boxing, and what she did was disgusting, okay? Sorry. And it should not be forgiven or overlooked, and never forgotten. I certainly won't forget it, because to me, it was the worst thing. You know, a trusted official, okay? We trust these people to do the right thing, to make the right calls, to do what's right for boxing. A trusted official. I mean, what a slimy, grimy thing somebody can do, okay? Just a grimy ass move. So, you know, I understand the frustration. I mean, I don't understand. I couldn't imagine what it must be like to know you won 8 out of 12 rounds, and you get a, you know, that one, the 117 one, or 110, 111, whatever it was, that bullshit card. I mean, I couldn't imagine. So, you know, but like I said, now, Tom Loeffler, he goes on to say, if Canelo wants to be the true champion, you know, he needs to fight Gennady Golovkin, you know, not Miguel Cotto and then vacate, or fight Amir Khan and then vacate, or whatever. If he wants to be the true champion, you got two options in the middleweight division. Left, you got Gennady Golovkin, you know, curtain number 1, Gennady Golovkin. To the right, curtain number 2, Billy Joe Saunders. Either way, you got to do one of the two. So now Canelo, he says, you know, in the way he talks about it is if, you know, he's like not saying, you know, when the rematch happens, or, you know, Cinco de Mayo Day, May 5th. It's constantly if, you know. So I don't like that kind of language either. And by the way, you know, why wouldn't he want it? Third highest gate in boxing history, right? You know, more than doubled the gate for the Cotto-Canelo fight. Pay-per-view numbers exceeded expectations. All around, the sponsorship, the merchandising, the gate, the pay-per-view, everything exceeded what they thought it would do, you know, tenfold, right? So in the rematch, you know, the financial experts, they claim and they predict it'll do even better than the original fight. Okay, so if you're Canelo, why wouldn't you want this? Okay, there's no reason whatsoever. You know, he's trying to sit Gennady Golovkin out is what he's doing. So, you know, But yeah, you know, the fans want it, I want it, you want it, we all want it. We're all waiting on Canelo Alvarez. Now, Tom Loeffler went on to say, if there is no deal by December, that's it, they're moving on. And apparently he recently told Eric Gomez, you know, look, if we don't have a deal by December, we're going on. They already spoke to HBO, and, you know, they have a fight for, I believe it's March or April. And, you know, right now, Golovkin wants to fight 4 times a year, but realistically, it's going to be 3 times a year. So, but yeah, they have a contingency plan. You know, they have a backup plan, a plan B. If they don't get, you know, a for sure answer, you know, around Christmas, right, or the beginning of the year, then they're going to move on. They're going to move on to other options. What other options? I don't know. Gennady said, you know, maybe we can go after the unification with, you know, Billy Joe Saunders or David Lemieux, you know, whoever happens to hold on to it at that time. You know, so maybe we can go after that. You know, we don't know. But he's like, I can't even look past Canelo right now because that's all he wants. So, you know, and then it was there was a funny moment. There was like a moment of humor. Tom Loeffler, you know, they were talking about the deal with Takati right here, you know, be bold, right? This Takati, be bold, be bolder. And he was like, you know, obviously Gennady Golovkin was the bolder fighter, and that's why they chose to, you know, to support him as a sponsor, you know. So, you know, we all know Gennady Golovkin came down to Dallas, Texas, you know, checked out Cowboy Stadium, and which, man, I wish I would have known about that. I would have went there and tried to get an interview or something, but they went there, you know, made the deal with Takati and checked out the stadium. And yeah, and the only 2 fighters that are signed with Takati right now is Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez. Like I said, the rematch will be bigger, the arena will be bigger, better, the number's going to be bigger. You know, why not do it? So, but yeah, 2018, they're looking at 3 fights, which, you know, I like that. And you know, I don't know. To me, look, I don't want to keep babbling on about the Loeffler interview. I really want to get into what Golovkin had to say. But to me, if you're Canelo, right, why not? Like, why continue on this facade? You know, this fake champion. It's like you're a poser, you know. And they talked about how he even wanted to come out first, and you know, Gennady Golovkin second. And Tom Loeffler, he was like, look, if you want to beat a champion holding 3 belts, you know, you've got to do it more convincingly than that. Even if you truly believe Canelo won, you know, you've got to do it more convincingly than that. You know, and that's just the tradition of boxing. You don't go out there and, you know, have a flip-on fight, you know, a heads or tails type fight and call it a draw. It always goes to the champion. It always goes to the champion, or it should. Well, only when they're not getting robbed. Okay, so yeah, let me repeat that. But yeah, let's I don't know. I was gonna continue on. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the box. You know, you guys go check it out. But Gennady Golovkin, I'm gonna flip through it real quick. Okay. They asked him about the actual fight. He said, I believed at the point there was a greater chance of winning the decision on points than losing the fight. So, you know, Gennady Golovkin, when it went to the judges, he truly thought he was going to win. Okay. You know, he's like, what can I say? A lot was done and made for Canelo to win this fight. But in reality, meaning the boxing, he's talking about the boxing politics. You know, a lot was done in his favor. Like, you know, he was protected is what he's saying right there. If Canelo would have indeed beaten me, then the decision would have gone to him instead of being a draw. Now, Canelo fans, where's your answer right here? I'd love to hear, and I don't want to hear a bunch of crap. Answer my question. If you're a Canelo fan and you truly believe that Canelo Alvarez won the fight, where is your answer, right? If he truly won, okay, and you can't even say it was a draw, because I can read my last video. There's probably 20 or 30 people in there claiming that Canelo won the fight. Then why would the judges call it a draw? Don't you think? I mean, come on now. If Canelo really won the fight, they would have gave him the nod. They would have gave him the decision. Like I said a week ago, before this interview, actually in my immediate reaction video, I brought that point up. You know, I was actually one of the first damn people to say that immediately after the fight. I even put it in Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Okay, I believe a lot of work was done for Canelo. to at least not lose the fight. I mean, very powerful words here coming from Gennady Golovkin, okay? You know, we usually don't get to hear him, you know, his thoughts in this kind of detail. And that's why I like that they have a translator. I love it, because we can actually hear, you know, what he's really thinking. But he said, in the end, the judges declared it was a draw. I don't want to discuss the 118-110, the Adelaide Bird. I'm sorry, I said 117-111 earlier. I meant 118-110 scorecard, because it's just ridiculous. Sorry guys, I have like terrible heartburn trying to do the video right here. Just ridiculous. Okay, I mean, when do you ever hear Golovkin talk like that? You know, he's truly upset. He goes, I just want to say that Canelo and his team have gone everywhere saying they won the fight, you know, and they're going around saying they won. But if they won, the judges would have given it to them. But in my opinion, if they really won, the judges wouldn't have ruled it a draw. I mean, truth hurts. Truth hurts. You know, I just want to remind them that there's no reason to lie to the boxing fans. I mean, come on. I mean, this is powerful. Okay, this is very powerful stuff. I mean, probably the most, you know, just real shit I've ever heard Gennady Golovkin say, ever, you know, from day one. Who watched the fight, and who, you know, talking about the people that watched the fight and they actually understood, you know, exactly what they saw, meaning you watched it with your own two damn eyes. You know who won. Canelo knows who's won. He said, yes, of course. You know, they're asking Golovkin if Canelo's gotten better. You know, he's like, yes, of course he's gotten better. You know, he's like, I like the fighter he's become. You know, the weight, the power, things have improved. I mean, this right here, it shows you that Golovkin is an honest, upfront guy, like a stand-up guy. You know, you ask him a question, you're going to get the answer. You know, so and he has no reason to lie. None. Now, like I said, my only disappointment with Golovkin is that he didn't knock him out, or at least knock him down. That's my only disappointment in Golovkin. And I wish he would have came out a little bit more aggressive in round 1, 2, and 3. That's it, those two. And I think those two adjustments will be made in a rematch. And Canelo knows that. Canelo knows he's going down. You know, he said, I like what I saw from him. You know, him, and I like the fighter he's become. And they're asking him, did you go back and watch it? No, I didn't watch it. It's not interesting for me at this time, okay? I don't need to watch it until, you know, basically until they make a rematch, then he'll go back and watch it. So, you know, he's saying there's no reason. I know I won the fight. I don't need to go back and watch it. But Tom Loeffler actually said he did a film study, and, you know, they counted punches in slow motion, like some Pacquiao Mayweather shit, you know. And he's like, we watched the fight in slow motion, you know, and did basically a film study, and Gennady Golovkin clearly won. So I like that. But first of all, I'm very thankful. Here's where he's just thinking, you know, thanking all the boxing fans. But they are wondering why television and certain media are focused on highlighting Canelo in his best moments of the fight. So not only, I mean, this is, man, I'm telling you, this is like powerful shit here. Not only is Canelo protected on fight night, but he's protected after the fight. You know, they're saying, hey, you know, Gennady Golovkin, he's like, you know, you watch HBO, YouTube, whatever, and there's all these highlights of Canelo just pop, 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 you know, teeing off on Golovkin. You know, that's it. And even if you go back and watch the way that they actually filmed it, you know, you notice that they showed a lot of punches being landed to the televised audience by Canelo. You know, same thing. They did the same shit to Pacquiao Mayweather, where, you know, when they because they got that little bit of a delay, and I know how they plan it. It's like they're always in a position to show the fighter they want to show. You know, I'm talking about live. Okay, they know what they're doing. These are professionals. And then, you know, during when they show the replay, they edit the shit out of it. You know, they edit the shit, and the highlight reel, don't even. The highlight reel is a joke. I've seen HBO's highlight reel. You know, the commercial for I have HBO, Comcast, Xfinity. I have it, and on the commercial, it shows, like, basically it shows Canelo beating the hell out of Golovkin, right? In the highlight HBO televised commercial. You know, where they're trying to get you to watch the replay. You know, and he says, when I'm the one who is the champion and they saw that I won the fight. I mean, you can look at the look. I mean, look at this look. You know, he's depressed. He feels cheated. He feels robbed. And I don't blame him. I don't blame it at all. These days people want to discuss boxing politics. I think this fight showed people a lot, and now I think it's a good thing, because basically people are becoming savvier about boxing. You had the Pacquiao thing that happened in Australia, with the corrupt officials, and then we had, jumped right into, the Adelaide Bird card, and really that kind of woke up the boxing. I even noticed even boxing fans that don't get along agreed. It's like we all came together and just said, yeah, it doesn't matter who you like, this shit's got to stop, so I like that. But he says, when they're starting to understand what's going on and not just paying attention to boxing propaganda. Okay, now what does he mean by boxing propaganda? He's referring to, the BS YouTube channels out there, the biased commentating, the camera trickery, the highlight reel, geared to make one guy look better than the other. That's the propaganda. Okay, just look up the word propaganda. I've used that word so many times in my previous videos. So let's just say people need to keep their word, and at this moment we don't even have a date to settle. I mean, look at this, that look, I'm telling you, I don't blame them. They need to keep their damn word, right? Who is the best, who's the strongest, it's hard to make this into a reality at the moment. But of course the second fight with Canelo, and then ultimately, he wants to unify all the belts. So that's really the entire, and I'm reading the rest right here. It's going to be an interesting fight. They're talking about the Billy Joe Saunders. He's definitely going to be watching it. And he wants to see, what both guys look like. And he was, particularly focused on Billy Joe Saunders. Man, this video is going way too long. So, and right here, he's like, as I get older, I have other interests, but, he wants to stick to boxing. And then, Steve Kim kind of jumps in there and he's like, whoa, is this like another retire moment? And then he's like, no, I feel good right now. I want to stay in boxing, but, I think he's a little bit bummed out right now. I think he feels cheated. He feels robbed. I think he needs that rematch, and that'll kind of revitalize his career, personally as an individual. I'm going to leave it at that. It's getting too long, guys. I'm going to leave it at that.